Have you ever thought about the possibility of eternal life? Quantum theory claims that none of us really die. We may even travel after our physical deaths through a multiverse whose dimensions are known, in some cultures, as the world of the gods. Quantum physicists can even prove that we all live forever. We'll show you now the Holy Grail, the Philosopher's Stone, or divine ambrosia. All these remedies are said to confer immortality. The question of eternal life and immortality is found in many cultures around the world, and there are just as many answers to it. In our Western culture, the belief in life after death has practically disappeared. The Christian principle of a journey of the soul to heaven, or if one was unlucky, to hell, is hardly present in people's minds anymore. In Eastern cultures, on the other hand, the idea that the soul travels on after death, that it goes to dimensions where the gods normally dwell and that souls return to earth in a new round and in a new life, is quite normal. There are hundreds of people worldwide who are close to death or even claim to have already crossed the threshold into the divine realms. They report meeting entities that appeared like angels and sent them back to earth. Not infrequently, such individuals experience spontaneous healings from serious illnesses or radically change their lives because they realize who they really are in the realms after death. Until now, all these were pure ideologies, fantasies, unprovable claims, or religious ideas. But now, quantum physics has provided the proof. We really are immortal. What if you would never die? Honestly, have you ever thought about what it would be like to live forever here on Earth? Imagine simply manipulating your genes so that you could keep getting younger, or leaving your body and going on into another dimension as pure information. Living beings are capable of reversing the aging process, as demonstrated by a tiny jellyfish that accomplishes this very feat. For some reason, this simple example shows what is possible in nature and that we must never say never. Imagine if science could decode the trick or program your genome to live up and down the age line. You could live forever without aging and still be on this earth in 1,000 or 10,000 years. Scientists may have found the key to eternal life in the world of the smallest particles through quantum mechanics. Initially, it was discovered that light is a basic building block of matter, and light particles are much tinier than an atom. Quanta can be split again into many smaller particles, and at some point, only pure information and energy remain as the actual building blocks of the universe. Energy can fluctuate in an absolutely balanced state and disappear physically, but the information is eternal. Your body consists of matter, which finally consists of condensed light and information. After your death, your information remains. Consequently, Australian quantum physicists expressed it in such a way: if a forest burns down, the trees, bushes, and animals that lived in it disappear into the physical world. On the quantum level, however, the forest remains as information, and it could be reconstructed if we had the necessary know-how. This rematerialization is realizable. The forest could disappear from our world, but the information moves on. Somewhere else, in another dimension or at another place in the universe, a new forest materializes with the help of the information. Leaning on quantum mechanics, there is another theory that introduces a completely new worldview, the theory of biocentrism. Developed by US scientist Robert Lanza, this theory says that it's not the universe that creates life, but that life creates the universe. What we call consciousness within us was actually there at the beginning of everything. Now, almost 14 billion years later, consciousness is channeling itself through us humans. In truth, we humans are not just bodies and brains, but consciousness that has taken on or connected to a material form. In Lanza's model, our brains and bodies are more like modems. What we perceive as observers, or the eye, is pure consciousness. The brain and body receive signals from the outside and translate these into life experiences and matter. If you are already familiar with quantum theory, then you know that quanta can appear as both wave and particle. The wave is the unformed potential, while the particle becomes matter through observation. Consciousness is the observer. When the brain and body die, only the modem is destroyed, but the signals remain and could possibly be redirected or recycled into another host. In Lanza's biocentric reality, life is the signal that continues without the body and brain as modems. Thus, consciousness creates the universe through us and not the other way around. Lanza's ideas were first presented in the late 2000s and have been celebrated in some quarters while being vigorously attacked in others. For some, biocentrism offers a bridge between philosophical concepts about life and death and physics. For others, the theory is still far too vague and uncertain, with little to no evidence of what consciousness really is. Supporters also draw on the fine-tuning problem, which shows how many physical conditions must align for life to arise: water, heat, oxygen, carbon compounds, and more. All these conditions cannot be based on coincidences but seem to have been made for us or by us. Now one can ask oneself, of course, who created all this? Before humans were there as observers, did possibly also dinosaurs create matter through consciousness and their presence on the planet? What about the first bacteria? Extensions of Lanza's theory assume that consciousness is omnipresent. It lives in you, in me, in plants and animals, and even in the materially lifeless space of the vast cosmos. Such ideas are excitingly reminiscent of the animism of many natural religions, which believe that everything that exists possesses a soul or even consciousness. Lanza's theories and some quantum models have proven that consciousness is above matter. This inevitably leads to a so-called life after death, or rather, death is not possible in such a reality, not if life is actually consciousness and not bound to matter but is perceived as an illusion. Life and consciousness are no longer connected with our bodies. If we take away the body and brain, consciousness evaporates as a kind of energy into the rest of the universe, or it moves on to other dimensions and lives on there. In the mid-20th century, German physicist Burkhard Heim created a 12-dimensional model of reality that included supermaterial levels such as consciousness and even divine dimensions. Amazingly, many of the unsolved mathematical formulas resolve when we assume 10 dimensions or more. In one of these dimensions, consciousness could be a normal force, only we don't currently have the means to detect or measure it. René Descartes, a prominent philosopher of the 17th century, made a groundbreaking assertion regarding the relationship between the mind and the body. He claimed that they are two fundamentally different substances, the mind, which he viewed as immaterial and the seat of thinking, and the body, which is material and spatially extended. This dualistic view suggested that while the mind and body were distinct, they interacted within the pineal gland of the brain, a small gland located at the center of the brain. Descartes believed that this interaction was vital for understanding human experience and behavior. However, the Enlightenment period that followed his work led to a growing separation between the concepts of mind and body. This separation influenced various fields, including philosophy, psychology, and medicine, and established a Cartesian framework that often treated mental processes and physical conditions as separate entities. This division persisted for centuries, influencing how people viewed mental health, physical health, and their interconnectedness. In recent years, however, there has been a significant shift in this understanding. Modern medical scientists are increasingly uncovering evidence that the mind and body are closely connected. Research in psychoneuroimmunology, for example, has demonstrated how psychological factors such as stress and anxiety can affect physical health. Conditions like hypertension, chronic pain, and even autoimmune disorders can be influenced by mental states. This growing body of evidence suggests that mental and emotional health plays a crucial role in overall well-being. If we consider that consciousness can form matter, or that consciousness can be condensed into matter, the traditional view of separation begins to dissolve. In quantum physics, for instance, particles can exhibit both wave-like and particle-like behaviors, indicating that the two states are interrelated. This concept can be extended to the relationship between the body and consciousness. The body is not merely a physical entity but also a manifestation of consciousness. In this perspective, the boundaries between mind and body blur, suggesting that they are two expressions of the same underlying reality. The implications of this interconnectedness are profound. It suggests that by nurturing our mental and emotional health, we can have a positive impact on our physical well-being. Additionally, it opens up new avenues for healing and personal development, emphasizing the need for a holistic approach to health that recognizes the symbiotic relationship between mind and body. This paradigm shift encourages a deeper exploration of how our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs can shape our physical realities, ultimately leading to a more integrated understanding of human experience. The only difference is that the physical body in the three-dimensional world has a limited duration of existence because it ages. However, the example of the eternal jellyfish shows that this aging process is not a condition of life. Rather, all living things that age could simply follow a program. Whoever can rewrite this program one day will have found the key to eternal physical life on Earth. Lanza's biocentrism is not the only idea pointing in this direction. The quantum immortality model draws on the central concept of the multiverse, developed from Hugh Everett's many-worlds model. Quantum immortality postulates that every decision we make brings a parallel universe into being. Imagine an infinite tree with branches, each branch representing a different path your life could have taken. Each decision, big or small, adds a new branch to the tree. While these universes coexist, they never intersect, but they are all the result of our choices. It's as if you are in an infinite maze of mirrors, each mirror showing a different version of you based on the paths you have chosen in your life over the years. Science fiction writers have realized the potential of this idea in novels and movies that show how seemingly meaningless choices can create forks into a parallel universe. What the multiverse might mean for the afterlife is yet another issue. In quantum immortality, there could always be a possible bifurcation in the multiverse through which a person survives. Key studies, such as the double-slit experiment, showed that all options are always possible until observed. The multiverse allows for the idea that consciousness may live on in other worlds after death. Here on Earth, you may even exist right now in other dimensions without realizing it. If the body is dead and your attention withdraws from this world, you may become aware of another existence on another plane and realize that you have never really been alive or dead. Everything is just an illusion in the three-dimensional world. This view fits with Schrödinger's cat, a quantum theory thought experiment that states precisely that the cat is dead and alive at the same time until someone with a certain state of mind makes a measurement. In Eastern religions like Hinduism, the multiverse has been known for a long time and is a reality lived in the consciousness of people. The Vedas describe different levels of materiality and spiritual subtle worlds. On these planes, which can be seen as other universes in the multiverse, live entities that people know as gods, demons, or angelic beings. Man possesses a soul that is immortal, and this soul can take different forms within the multiverse.